go live. We're gonna go live. Yeah.
Did you press record?
When I get back into the page. Ooh, we're going live.
Oh, you're making me laugh.
Ooh, hallelujah. Yeah. Yes, we are ready for you here on Victory Speaks. Are you ready for us? So, we are going live. We're waiting for you to come inside, join the room, join this party. As we set things up, you got some calabash in the background and we're playing. As we get things all up and spiffy here. And if computers will cooperate tonight, we'll be even happier. And invite your friends because we are going to have an inspired conversation. Here we go. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be sweet. That's Calabash in the background. And yes, I do actually have the rights to play it from them. It's so good that I do. Little jazz on this Emancipation Saturday. It is August 1st. Did you know it's Emancipation Day? It is Emancipation Day. It's the 186th anniversary of emancipation, the freedom of slavery. What a day to have this conversation. I am so excited. I'm trying to really contain myself right now. You have no clue how much I am just trying to keep it in.
I can feel it, Nicole. I can feel it over here.
All right. So we're gonna load on Calabash so that they don't, get in our way. All right. Thank you, Calabash. Thank you, Tony Pierre, Darren Shepherd, and the crew for letting us use your music. And welcome to Inspired Conversation. Today, I'm so excited. Okay, I dressed up really special for today. I have on my headphones, so there's no feedback happening, hopefully. And because I want to ensure that we do things right. So I'm going to make sure that we are recording our conversation today because I don't want to miss a doggone thing. I'm in the room with royalty. I dressed in her favorite color. She told me what it was. It was teal.
I'm not wearing it.
I know she's not wearing hers, but I'm wearing it because this is in honor of you. And, this inspired conversation is just going to be a little different today. Why? Because it is. And you'll see why soon. Now, I guess I didn't tell you who I am because some of you, we're on Facebook and we know each other and we have some similar friends. But just in case you don't know who I am and who my guest is today, I am Nicole Waldron, aka Victory Speaks. Why Victory Speaks? Well, because my name means victory of the people. And I have decided that I need to live out that and speak victory and walk in the victory that I have been called to walk in. And I've recognized that a long time I have inspired conversations, and I have inspired conversations with great people like my guest today. I'm not even telling you her name. If you don't know her name yet, well, you better get to know her name. And in life, we have many conversations, and some good, some bad, some indifferent, some ugly, some but at the end of the day, if you surround yourself with the right people, you will sharpen each other and have somewhere in your conversation nuggets. And I've always had nuggets with my friend here. And I am just like supercalifragilisticexpialidociously happy to have her. I can't even think straight. My guest today is one of these people that I know, those that know her have 10,000 inspired conversations.
Oh, gosh.
I don't even know how long I've known her because I guess we'll have to think of the age of our children. She's a transformative speaker, facilitator, mediator, educator in restorative practices. Working for over 15 years, she's been partnering with the police, the churches, the schools, and the community at large. She's spending the majority of her life battling and overcoming various traumas, including racism, sexual, physical, and emotional abuse. She has developed language and structural tools to assist in gaining deliverance and freedom, sorry. She believes that the transparency and wisdom that God has mandated her to live by is what this and previous generations need and desire to hear. We are not perfect. We mess up. We can be free. And God loves us just as fiercely as the day we were created. He is not surprised by our lies. He is the answer to our lies. It is this belief and the passion that leads my guest to live her life, sharing her story of overcoming various difficulties with wisdom, revelation, and insight to address these issues. We're going to be touching on that wisdom. She resides in Toronto,
Yes.
Ontario, for those of you that are out of the country that will be watching this rebroadcast or watching us now, with her 4 children, Brittany, Quinton, Samuel, and Benjamin, who she affectionately calls her heartbeats. Yes. Her life's mandate is to empower, equip, and educate people towards their calling, purpose, and destiny in God. Ladies and gentlemen, people out there, whoever's listening, watching, creating, give a thumbs up, give a if you're on Facebook, do your hearts, do your claps, send us your likes. Welcome transformative speaker Moheen Lombard to the Inspired Conversations with me, Victory Speaks. Oh my God, Moheen, welcome. If there was a crowd of people, I need to get that sound effect.
This is what happens when your friends believe in you. That's all I can say right now. This is what happens when your friends believe in you. Wow.
Exciting day. Exciting day this is. And Moheen, you're going to have exciting news to share with the folks. But welcome, 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 welcome. So, how you doing today?
I'm great. It's been a day, but God is good.
All the time.
Great. I'm great.
You've had a busy day, haven't you?
It's been pretty jam-packed, but it's been good.
Okay. So we're going to
I
start.
like production.
Yeah. I love that. I love your background there. So tell us something here. What is your definition to success, to living a victorious life? What does that look like for you?
Oh, wow. My definition of success, you know what? It would be walking out the ordered steps of God. It would be owning your stuff, and just being very real with where you are. I think that, it's important to be aware of where you are, aware of who you are, aware of what you're called to do. Some people mark victory or success as financial or material wealth, but I think wealth is being well within and ensuring that others around me are well also. I think that wealth and success is doing what I was created to do, doing what I was put here to do, and helping as many as I can. Man, I sound like my parents right now.
Isn't it funny how you don't realize that, you always say, I'm not going to be like my parents. And then one day you wake up and you realize, wait, that's my mom. No, that's my dad.
Yeah. When I was young, all of that, you need to know God has called you to do great things and you just need to be obedient and do as well. And I was like, and now I'm like, no, it's so true. Find out who you are, walk that out. But success, I think, is more about building a community around you and really building those up around you more than it is about gaining that wealth. To me, if I were super wealthy, I wouldn't be successful unless every single person around me was able to benefit from that wealth or from that success.
And so how do you know when you've gotten there? Like, is it like a destination you have to get to, or is it something that it's a journey along the way? Like there's different levels to that victory and that success. What does that look like?
I think we can get overwhelmed by goals that are probably set. They're great goals, but sometimes they're not realistically easy to gain. Do you know what I mean? So I want to be a multimillionaire, but that might not happen for a few years. But I don't feel I've attained anything in life because I haven't gotten to that place. And I think it's important that we look at the successes of every day. So for someone who used to smoke, like myself, I used to smoke back in the day. Success for me was I went through a whole day and I didn't smoke. that I went through two
Yeah.
days and I didn't smoke. So I celebrate the victories of every day because life is going to be rocky. Life is not predictable. And some things are totally out of your control. And if you set goals that are unattainable or unrealistic and don't find contentment in the now and find the joy and the success in the everyday living, then you're forever going to be at a place of striving for more. And you're never going to be able to enjoy the moment that is now and see the
Okay.
future.
Okay. That was a nugget. I have my notepad and I'm writing the notes. I'm not writing the notes to ask you questions because I know that when you have, if you don't have your notepad ready, I'm saying to you, get your notepad because she's going to drop nuggets. Every day you need to see the victory in every day. And I think that
Absolutely.
is so amazing.
Yep.
And I was reading something the other day, actually was listening to, we're in this constant state of learning. And they said it was the 1%.
Yep.
And to do the 1% every day, if you did one, it was Cindy Trim I was listening to, and she said, if you do 1%
Yep.
today, which is something different today, that is victory. Because sometimes we set these big, gigantic goals,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then when we don't achieve them, we feel like a failure.
Yep.
And how many times have like you felt that, like you set all these big goals for yourself, top of the year, this is what I'm going to do, your birthday, this is what I'm going to do. Come on now, talk about it.
Yeah, it's true. You know, I used to call my mom in angst, just in tears, like nothing is working, life is horrible. And my mom used to say this to me for years. It drove me nuts. I'm not gonna lie. I'm be real because you know me, I'm gonna keep it real. Drove
Please.
me nuts.
Yeah.
But the one thing my mom used to say was, my prayer is that you find contentment in your everyday life. Like I
Yeah,
would
yeah, yeah.
fight back. I'd roll my eyes. She'd be like, "Can I pray for you? Let me pray for contentment."
You
And I'm
sound like
like,
your mom.
but the reality is that if you don't find, and I mean, I think the last time she came up and saw me, I think it really hit home, where I felt it. I just want you to be happy. I just want you to find
Yeah,
content, because happiness is an emotion.
yeah.
Content is a state of being. And she's like, I
Ooh.
just want you to be content. And I was like, you got a point there. So then I had to ask myself, what does that look like, Nicole? Like, what does that look like? What does it look like to me? So today, what can I do today? Started working out. So for me, if I can do a day where I work out and I stick to my goals, I'm happy because I'm further along than I was yesterday. And if we want to go biblical, because we are spiritual beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go from strength to strength and glory to glory. We don't jump
Right.
levels in the kingdom. It's step by step. And the path is narrow and you've got to stay focused. But there is an end goal. But every day we've got to celebrate the steps we're taking to get to that end goal. Yeah.
See, this is the nuggets. You just said happiness is an emotion. Somebody type that out. Happiness is an emotion. Leslie, I see you online. Can you type that out for us?
Gosh.
Happiness is an emotion and content is a state of being.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is a game changer. That makes you pivot. That makes you sailor, and go, okay. And you also said something that reminded me how we need to pause in that day and reflect.
Yep, absolutely.
And you said something, as you went, biblical. Be anxious for nothing is what
Mm-hmm.
I think of when you say it. And people miss the next piece is, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is good, think on these things.
Yep.
That's when you get your peace. That's when you sit in the contentment.
Yep.
And it seems like you're sitting there, Moheen.
I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah.
I am trying. It is it's a mindset, and we all know that. I know people say 21 days to build a habit. I don't believe that. I think it takes way
Wait, more,
longer.
way more, way more.
If you want it, like, you can do something and do it for 21 days, but if you really want it to become part of who you are, it takes a lot longer. I think it has to get into your DNA, I say. But I do think it is, you wake up every morning and you say, you know what? Stuff is going on, but I have got to find a place of contentment. COVID is happening. The world is shut down. I don't know what's next. But guess what? I said this every day for the first little bit in COVID. After the recreation and the fun of, woo, we don't have to go to work and we can stay home, we can sleep in and we can do this and
Yeah.
working from home. But when that wore off and I was like, oh my goodness, it got to the point where I would get up and I'd be like, Lord, I'm going to go nuts. I need to go out. I need to do more than go to the grocery store. I
Yeah.
need to do more than walk around my block. Like I need to, and the Lord started saying, take a look at what you have, because
Mm.
some people don't have that. And
Grateful.
so when the feelings started to come over me, I would be like, I am thankful, Lord, that I have a home. I love my children and we love each other and it's real and we get along. So I was like, thank you for a tribe that gets along, because that's a big thing for some people too, right? They don't, you're living under the roof with someone you've
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
So all these things, I'm breathing, I'm in good health, I'm not sick. I'm going to be content with those things because it could be 20,000 times worse. And this peace would just settle and this joy would just abide because he gives you joy, right? He's the
Yes.
lifter of our heads and our glory. So this joy would start to rest. And it was really on just the fact that I'm okay. I'm okay.
You know what I love, because I believe that, a lot of the times we say things, people quote scripture, people
Mm-hmm.
go to a motivational talk, they hear a thing, they may hear a Tony Robbins, they may hear a Les Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and all these different things, but it's how do you walk it out? And I
Yeah.
love how you're showing that, you're intentional, you're writing the things down, you're grateful and sitting in that place of gratefulness. And sometimes we think meditation is about going and, meditating on the word, meditating on your truth that, what, this is where I am. Because in COVID-19, there's some people who are not breathing. There's some people who are not
Yeah.
here. And
Yep.
this COVID-19 is a reality check,
Yep.
for many of us, that has made us look at the new normal, which is probably our normal.
Yeah.
I'm getting here that, Mo, you're inspiring. Oh, that's so nice. Okay,
Thank
keep
you.
the comments going. If you have any questions from Moheen, please share. We're gonna drop another nugget soon, because today is a big day for Moheen, and I am, again. If you can say, if you know the song "Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious," sing with Moheen. You
You're
can
the
sing.
only person I know who uses that phrase. Like
Yeah,
that's a Nicole Waldron phrase, if ever I've heard it. Yeah. You have a great appreciation
because
for supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
yeah, because it's the only thing that can describe something so tremendous that you're about to drop on us.
Oh
And so you
wow.
talked about, and I am so I can't promise that I'm not going to cry on the show today, because I probably will cry on the show today, because you're talking about contentment, you're talking about your peace, and I know it hasn't always been easy,
Nope.
and you continue to, despite everything that has probably come to you in life, go up there, you get up in the morning, you take care of your children, you go to work when you don't feel like going to work, and you talked about, your destiny, and so let's talk about purpose. So what is
Mm.
the purpose? What is the thing when you say purpose, when you say all these things, what is driving you? What makes you get up in the morning and and press through, when you just say, like, you know what, I really don't want to be here today. It's been too much. You talked about COVID, you talked about God, talking about gratefulness, but is there anything else that allows you to get up in the morning to face the day?
Um, well, I think my children are my first purpose.
Yes.
I really do. And that's why I call them my heartbeats, because there are many days in the 27 years of me being a parent. Don't repeat that, please.
Sip of water.
But there are many, many days I've woken up and thought, you know what, I think they'd be better without me. Or I just can't do this anymore. I just don't have it in me to do anymore. Um, but the Lord, not even him coming to me and saying something to
Hmm.
me, would
Hmm.
always send in one of my four tribe
Yes.
at the right time with the right word. So Benji's my youngest, so I'll use him. um, I could be having a horrific day. I'm up, I'm in my room, I'm sitting there quiet. I'm not someone that likes to emote in front of people. I used to think it was a weakness. I don't now, but this is back in the day.
Yeah.
And Benji would, at my old house, be in the living room and out of nowhere, like pitter patter into my room and give me the biggest hug. I'm like, I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. And I just knew that God was speaking through my son. Like, I just knew. Or I would be at work having a bad day and my daughter would text me, or even any of my kids would text me. I
Right.
have a phone, like, I love you, or whatever. And it just reaffirms to me why I'm here. But when I look outside of my four children that God has blessed me with, and I look at the state of the world, I know that there is things that God has put in me that um, people more than my children need to hear. And I think we do a disservice when we don't give the benefits of our wisdom and the lessons that we've learned from God to help others. I am determined not to see, if I can, anybody that is linked to me go through what I've gone through. And so I see the journey of life as there's a field and we're all walking across the field. And based on where we are at life, some people are at different places. So I've been here for 4 years.
Say it, girl. Walking it.
47 years.
You look like 27. Come on
but
now.
I feel 23. But I've been here for 47
Well, look
years.
it too.
But what I feel is it's easy for me now to turn around and say to that person that's only 20 years old, or say to that person that's 30, oh my goodness, there's a mine coming up if you take a step to the left, because if not, you're going to blow up or something's going to happen. Even though I might not be as far along as someone that's like 57 or 60, my eyes are going to be better than theirs in some cases. So I might be able to see something coming, or see something that I've been through that they might not have been healed from. So now I'll say to them, you know what, this worked for me. I see that we have some similarities. I went through it too. This worked for me. I think going through obstacles in life, it's important that it becomes our purpose now to help other people either avoid them, get out of them, or maneuver around them, or maneuver through them, because some processes you just can't avoid.
I love it. So, I love how you reference your youngest, Benji.
Yeah.
He's born on my birthday.
Yeah, he is.
Benji. January the 7th is a special day.
My puppy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I am interviewing one of my besties right here, so don't get jealous, anybody. What advice could you give to a mom that's watching right now that is just feeling totally exhausted? Whether it's COVID, whether it's, life, whether it's the job, whether it's finances, that is just depleted, like you have felt, like I have felt. What advice could you give to that mom to just go through the night, even go into the next day?
Practical advice.
Yeah.
Find something to be thankful about. That's practical. My prayer is that everybody has at least one person in their life they can lean on for support. Because the reality is, I think everybody faces this, whether a parent or not. Your children are your reason. They're not your entire reason, because I don't want to say mothering is your only call.
Yes.
But I always say our family is our preparation for ministry.
Right.
So if we're single, it's a bit different. But if we've been given families and we believe that God has given us a ministry, our family really is the training ground for the next step. I would say don't give up. Dig deep down inside and find something to hold on to. That's practically, right? Just hold on. So if for anything else, then for the sake of your children. I'll be very transparent here. There's many times I've tried to or contemplated taking my life. Right. What stopped me was the fact that my kids would be the ones that would find me in the morning. I'm just keeping it real. So
please.
That's before, like, when I was at such a place of, oh, like, God can't even get in here because I got this hard skull on that is just set on, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the thought is, oh my goodness, Brittany's going to wake up, because she usually wakes up at that back in those days, and she's going to find me. And that will absolutely traumatize the life out of her and wreck her entire life. So I'm not going to do it to her. So that was a practical thing I would hold on to. And I know it's not, super deep and super spiritual, but it's realistic. Find something to hold on to, because it gets better in the morning. It's always darkest at night.
Yes.
Spiritually, I will say this: we are to become the Word. Christ said when he was here, I and the Father are one, which not meant that, I come from the Father and I'm a piece of him. Yes, but the Word is in me and it's alive and living and breathing through me. So I would say things, even if I didn't believe it, like joy comes in the morning. He's given me a garment of praise for a spirit of heaviness. I would turn on some worship music. I didn't want to hear, it was worship music. Or I'd turn on an instrumental if I didn't want to hear something.
Yeah.
Like, those are just the things that I would do to try and keep my head above the water until I made it to the next day.
And I love it because it's really good practical advice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and especially having that person you can call. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have, I always say iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And you don't want the person that is going to keep you in victim mode. You need the person who's going to pull you out of victim mode with
Yep.
love and with care, even though they may say some things, but they know how to pull you out of it and speak life into you. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of what you're saying is about speaking life to yourself, having the person speaking life into you, and then having that reason
Yeah.
is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's actually something greater than yourself. It was something greater than yourself that pulled you
Yeah.
out of thinking of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing, that
Yeah.
just propelled you to keep, even getting up the next day when you felt like this is it. And I
Mm-hmm.
really thank you for being honest about there are times of not wanting to live, because I think for so many, we
Yes.
sit in this guilt and this shame and we don't admit it. Some days are not so good that we go out as women, and especially Black women. Listen, we know the face. We put it
Yeah.
on, we cook the food, we go out there, we drive the car, we slay it, girl.
Superwoman.
And
Yeah.
nobody knows that when we are coming home, we're just like,
Yeah.
saw.
Absolutely. Broken
Yeah,
inside. I used to say to people, you have no clue. You see me out and you're like, oh my gosh, Moheen, blah, 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 blah. But what you don't know is I'm dying on the inside.
yeah, yeah,
Because I'm really good at putting this on.
yeah.
Hey girl,
And
what's up? How you doing?
yeah.
But inside I'm like, yeah.
And how many of us, whether we're male or female, we do it. We put it on, and we have to be aware. And I think too, as we see our children going through it, is them seeing you being vulnerable and real.
Yeah.
So we are at, I like numbers.
Haha. Yep.
Today is the number, it's the eighth
First
month,
day. Yeah.
first day. Eighth is the number of new beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a new beginning for you. You've been working on something really significant. And do you
Yep.
think, are we ready to reveal? Um, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, okay, can we actually do this? So now most people know you as Moheen Lombard, and I see
Yep.
a new name, uniquely Moheen, has
Yes.
surfaced, and you kept this on the DL. You were working on this bad boy, which is now a good boy. Like John Lewis would say, the late John Lewis, who just passed, would say, good trouble. You were
Ah,
working on some good stuff. Um, and so what have you been working on, Moheen?
boy. You know, a few years ago, um, the Lord laid on my heart to do some things.
Uh-huh.
It's so
Uh-huh.
funny, I just have to put this out there. I'm just gonna put it out there
Hmm.
and just kill anything that's in the atmosphere for me. Nicole, you know me, so I'm gonna do this. I'm having a really hard time talking about this right now, which
That's
is so
okay.
funny. Because back in the day, I used to love theater and acting, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about this. So if I look a
Right,
little,
right.
I'm just really struggling within myself to do this next phase. Oh, it's out. I feel better. I feel better.
Good.
Okay. So a few years ago, many, many years ago, I had an experience where I was really honored to speak to some young women that were going through some things.
Hmm.
And I was supposed to prepare something. I was going to a girls' retreat for the weekend, and I was supposed to prepare something to speak to the young ladies about. And I came up with nothing, like nothing. It was horrible. And so I got there, and it was now time for me to speak. And I was sitting there and I'm thinking, well, Lord, I have no scripture. I have nothing set to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. And the Lord said to me, tell them your story.
Right.
And so I was like, oh. So I proceeded to tell my story, but I didn't tell it as my story. I spoke about it as there was a young lady who, and I presented the different scenarios that I've been through in my life to these kids for their feedback. And feedback I certainly did get. When I finished, the room went silent, and I heard a wail because I totally forgot that my daughter was in the room. I was like, oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
So, whoa, surprise. And my daughter came over to me, and it broke something in the air. And all of these women, by the time we were finished, ended up bearing the deepest secret that they had been carrying for years. And you felt the weight lift, and God just had an opportunity to minister to young ladies and transform lives. And I will never forget that moment. And so a few years later, the Lord started talking to me about the power of the testimony. And I'm someone that I always like, oh, I'm transparent. I talk my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would have certain parties that would come to me and say, don't talk so much. And then other people would say, keep doing it. And so the Lord just kept resting on me. It's time to tell your story. So I went through something really traumatic about 9 years ago. And in walking out my process to my healing, the Lord said, okay, it's time to write your story. So I sat down and I wrote my story. So Uniquely Moheen is the platform that is going to introduce y'all to Triumph Over Trauma, which is the book that I am releasing at the end of this month.
Hopefully I didn't break Facebook by my scream.
Yeah.
So for those who are now tuning in,
yeah,
this is Moheen Lombard, Uniquely Moheen, and today is the day she has announced for the first time to the world that she is releasing her book, telling her story, and it's time to tell the story, telling her story. And so what's the book called, Moheen?
The book is called Triumph.
So wait, before you go there, wait, Triumph Over Trauma. Give some, congratulations. Any hand claps, show us some, some hearts and some, comments from Moheen. I'm seeing some dancing, some clapping. I'm seeing yay, Mo. I'm seeing congratulations. This is Go Mama. That's from Brittany.
That's my
And so the book is called Triumph Over Trauma.
Yes.
That's a big title, hon.
Yeah. So it's not a biography or an autobiography, but it really is. I've gone through some pretty severe traumatic things in life. And after my last episode that happened, Benji's 9, so 10 years ago, the Lord took me on a process of healing. And so what I felt was important and what the Lord was impressing upon me, I speak to a lot of youth at my job. I speak to a lot of women and men. I'm not even gonna act like it's just women and men. In my job, because I work in the community, I work in the schools, and I do work in the church. So I have different types of people that I come encounter with. And what I realized was a lot of people, even in my work as a mediator, it came up a lot. A lot of people haven't healed from the hurts that they experienced either young in life or at any point in life. And so the Lord said to me, my mandate is to empower, equip, and educate people towards their calling and their destiny and their purpose in God. So empower, equip, educate.
Right.
So I started writing a book on various chapters. Just like, let's talk about molestation. Let's talk about self-hatred. Let's talk about control and those things and what would happen in my life, or the scenarios that the Lord used to highlight. This is what you're struggling with, and now this is how we're going to gain freedom in that area. So it's pretty transparent about, like, if you know me, you might learn some things you didn't know before. Hi.
Is there anything you're willing to share that we didn't know before? What is one thing that most people don't know about you, or any of us don't know about you, because no one can claim to know everything about you.
Right.
That you are willing to share before, because people are going to be able to pre-order the book soon.
Yeah, pre-order August 7th.
Sale.
Yeah.
And August, I love the 7th. I love that date.
I know you do.
I know. Hey, 7. And yeah.
Let me see. I don't know, because I feel like I tell everybody everything. It's not until I get around other people where they're like, yeah, Moheen, we didn't know that about you. So,
because you've been through, in your bio, it speaks of going through physical abuse.
Yes.
Sexual abuse. It speaks about verbal abuse.
Yes.
Financial abuse. It speaks about, just triumphing. I can't even say the word. I can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but I can't say triumphing. That's hilarious. And what is a snippet out of that book that you would love people to know about your story? What is important for people to know about your story, about you, Moheen, that's unique? I know I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I?
Yeah, and I despise talking about myself. So this is really
I
fun and
know.
challenging all at the same time. Like if you could see what was happening inside, like that movie. What's that movie where the little characters are inside out? If you could see what's
Mhm.
happening in here, you'd be amazed. Like the ones in the corner going, and the other one's like, it's okay, bring it down. Um, okay, you haven't seen that movie, have you?
No.
For all you parents out there, I'm sure you will appreciate that analogy. Let me see. Okay, what is something about me that is unique?
Well, there's a lot about you. In fact, you are, you know what?
Everything.
You are just unique, truly, really and truly. And that's the beauty. Okay, so I'm going to reverse a sec.
Okay,
And in Trinidad, we would say, let's reverse back. So I know that there's
rewind.
a rewind. Will! The Jamaicans will say, will!
Wheel it back.
You
Yes.
know, I think that's one of the beautiful things about you. You're unique. You're not, um, you're not trying to conform to anybody else.
No.
You've got tattoos.
I
You
do.
know, yeah, I see one there. You know, some people, if they don't know you, they wouldn't know that you would have a tattoo. You're authentic, you're real. And so all about you is unique. You don't try to conform to the norm, and you live in truth. And I think that's one of the things people, you said earlier that people will say to you, you know, you talk too much. But if that's part of your honesty, and that's one of the unique things about you. You always keep it real and you're always honest. And so I'm going to try and make this easier for you. I'm going to go
Thank
to,
you.
I know it's tough. That's okay. Um, from what place, I have a question here from Facebook. From what place did you begin to heal?
Absolute brokenness.
And what did
Yeah.
that look like?
Um,
What do you mean when you
an
say that?
abusive relationship had just ended. I found that I was pregnant with my son. Even the circumstances around that weren't pleasant, and I don't think I could endure anymore. Um, like it was absolute. I would say absolute brokenness. Like I'm a visual person. I see everything. So for me, like when I'm speaking, I see myself like laying in a broken heap on the floor.
Mm,
That is literally the place I am where the Lord met me and picked me up and said, hey, let's start with your healing. You can no longer put on the face. Like I could no longer get up and act like I'm okay.
yeah,
Because I was questioning, why did this happen? Where was God? How could you let this happen? Wait, why is this happening again? Because I was on a really good tangent, and then this man came and just destroyed some things. So for me, I would say that I was absolutely broken and realized as much as I can still go to work and do whatever, there was a sadness. People used to say to me, Moheen, I see a sadness in your eyes.
mm-hmm,
And I wasn't okay with that. But the reality was, I always say to people, whatever's inside will start to come out at some point after another, whether you're physically sick, whether it comes out in your speech, whether it comes out in your attitude,
mm-hmm,
it's going to
mm-hmm,
seep out of you because
mm-hmm,
out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But if
mm-hmm.
you become what you're going through, it's the filth will spew out.
Right.
So it was just, I was at a point where I was like, Lord, I just can't, I have no answers. I, being transparent again, was really ready. And at the point where I said to Lord, I'm done with you. Like,
Right.
we're not doing this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You have failed me throughout my entire life. And of course, I could list everything that I felt God wasn't
Yeah,
there for.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and the Lord reminded me of a conversation we had earlier when I was going through. And he said to me, until you say that I am no longer Lord over your life, you can't get rid of me. And he
Wow.
kind of had this come into the room and sit down beside me on the bed and this conversation. All right, okay, so what are we going to do? What are you going to do now?
So it was
And
like
I
you
was like,
literally had an encounter with God.
it, like I said, I'm visual. So that's how
Yeah,
it came
yeah,
to me when I was praying. But
yeah,
yeah, it literally felt like he sat down and said, well, what are you going to do? Because you're
yeah.
not giving, are you going to denounce me as God? And I was like, never. Well, what does it look like then to get your freedom? And I was like, oh, here we go.
Right.
Um, and that began the 9-year journey of, well, 8, I would say, because it's been 2 years where I can honestly say I can talk about anything that's happened in my life, and you won't see it on my face, you won't feel it or hear it in my voice. I'm totally free from it. But it was an intense journey. And the one thing I want to say to anybody who's facing difficulties that they don't want to face, because the reality is, like today when I was getting ready, I'm like, I don't want to do this, Lord. We can just
Mm.
put the book out and nobody has to know. Nobody
Right.
sees it, great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you don't have a choice. You really don't have a choice. If you want to do well, and if you want to see your family do well and those you love, you've got to make a decision to work towards your healing. And it is work towards your healing. You've got to be able to look in the mirror. You've got to be able to hear the Lord say, some of these things about you aren't right. You've got to be able to hear the harsh answer to some questions that you don't want to hear the answer to, in
Hmm.
whatever form or fashion he sends that answer, because sometimes it doesn't come through prayer.
Right.
Sometimes someone will come to you and say something hard and you're like, wow, ooh, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
it got to the point where I was desperate and I was like willing to do whatever it took to get out of that pit, because I couldn't stay there anymore. Yeah.
I really commend you for your courage, because I know that took a lot of courage for you to do. And I am just, I'm tickled pink, even though I can't turn pink, but I'm tickled pink. I'm tickled blue. I'm tickled every color of the rainbow, because this is really a milestone. And I know as people read this book, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Even I don't have a pre-read copy. I'm just letting you know. I don't even
Keep it
have a
under
copy.
wraps.
It's under like this big wrapper. Um, I've only gotten a glimpse of the cover like last night as we were finishing to prepare. She allowed me to see it, and it's just, I just wish I could just show it right now, but I can't.
It'll
And
be after this is going on social media. Yeah.
okay, after this is the preempt to it. So,
Yes.
what would you tell your younger self, Moheen?
Believe in yourself.
And how
A
would
lot of a lot of the things I did in life and a lot of the situations I found were because I made decisions out of not knowing who I was and not believing in who God had called me to be. And this
Mhm,
is even like in and out of church.
mhm,
Um, when I was in the world just doing my thing, I still didn't have confidence in the woman that I was. And so, if I were to speak to the younger Moheen, I would say, believe in yourself, trust God, and it's going to be okay.
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, you're going to triumph after this.
And so, what is your greatest life lesson so far, or one of them? Because I think you've had many from just listening to you tonight and over the years.
Well, that's a good one. I have so many running through my head right now. Um,
This is rapid fire questions, rapid
right? I
answers,
know, and I'm not answering them rapidly.
rapid fire.
Okay, real quick. If what was it again? Life lesson, a life lesson.
Greatest life lesson. Yeah,
You're stronger than you think,
you're stronger than you think. That's good.
and there's more
That's
in
good.
you.
And how do you know you're stronger than you think? What lets you know that you're stronger than you think? Because
Uh,
we say that to women all the time. You're stronger than you think.
yeah.
Why is that? I mean, I know the answer in my head. I have an answer in my head, I should say.
Okay, practical. Let's just take a look back on everything that you've been through, and you're still here. That's practical. Spiritually, God will never give you more than you can bear.
That's it.
Right? And so when the Lord has shown me, He's so gracious. He's shown me many times when I
Mm-hmm.
fell back in His arms and He was carrying me. Even when I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
at church serving Him, He was there. So many instances of different things, car accidents,
Mm-hmm.
being in the wrong place at the wrong time that He delivered me from and kept me from.
Right.
He's always there. So I think it's just take a look back and see what you've come through, which is proof that you can still make it because you're
Yeah.
still here. And
Yeah.
then know that with Him all things are possible. In His times of weakness, He is made perfect in strength. And me getting up and walking through this journey of healing, to me, is the epitome of Him being made perfect in strength in my times of weakness. Yeah.
So this, you saw me turning away. I was just having some, I think I don't know if it's me, but I may be having some internet problems. I'm not sure. So we had a little bit of disturbance here, but we heard everything you said, so which is good. Um, I know this conversation is powerful by the different things that have happened to us today, and we're determined to have this conversation despite how we feel, because one of the things I know, even on this journey of Victory Speaks, as I launched this and as I listened to you, you reminded me that um, we have to move past our emotions,
Yep.
because
Absolutely.
we can let our emotions and how we feel stop us from doing what we should be doing. It makes us procrastinate. The
Absolutely.
fear, and the fear can show up in ways that don't really look like fear.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that you're hearing. Are you hearing me okay? Because I can hear some little crackling on the computer.
I hear you absolutely fine. I do hear
Okay,
crackling,
perfect.
but I thought it
So
was your speaker against your
no,
thing.
it just said my internet was unstable, but sometimes this
Oh,
is why you have to. It's the joy of the internet. I guess everybody's on here. Um, so who inspires you, Moheen?
wow.
You can name
Um,
a few people. You don't have to name one, but
uh, um, my family.
why?
Hmm?
Why? Why did you choose family over everything else?
I think the power of community is great and
Yeah,
it is inspiring.
yeah,
Um, it's funny because I don't naturally go to, like, some people will be like celebrities. I
yeah.
don't naturally go to them. Like I would tell you inspiring would be my birth mom and my mom and my dad. My birth mom, because in the time that I was born, she kept me and didn't have to. She, like, you know what I mean, back in the day, and she carried
Hmm.
me and she gave me an opportunity for the life that God had ordained for me. And then my adopted parents, because they laid uh, the foundation of who I am. So they're inspiring. So like I said, my reasons for my birth mom, who was phenomenal, and then my adopted parents took in two Black children in a time. It was 72 when I was born, and my older brother was born in 69. And back then, blended families, well,
Hmm.
Black and white
Hmm.
blended families weren't exactly
I think
popular. And they took us in and then they raised us, and they raised us well. So yeah, that's inspiring to me. Why do I say family? Because they're my stability. They're my source of strength and peace outside of the Lord. Um, there are people that have come before me that are great, that have forged the way for us.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. But anybody who knows me, that I'm extremely tribe oriented. So my answer will naturally go back to the tribe. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Do you
Yeah.
have a favorite book that you can share as we go out here? What are a couple of favorite books that you have? You're an author now. So now we're adding transformative speaker, teacher, you do conflict resolution, you do, you're evangelist, you're a prophet, you're a teacher.
Oh gosh,
And
Nicole.
yeah, man, you're a good friend, you're a
Oh
mom, you're a
my.
daughter, you're a sister friend. And I know all those who are listening online who love you, are showing their hands and sending some hearts to Moheen for all the love that she shares and she gives. Um, uh, it's just, I'm just so proud of you today. I just wish I could come and give you a hug. I'm giving you this, I know we can gather in 50s and stuff, but I gotta give you that hug. And I feel this peace that comes from you. I feel this beautiful joy that comes from you. But one of the things I love about you is your humility. What keeps you humble?
Oh wow. My journey.
Mm,
I always say to people, if you knew my past, I've no place to judge anybody. I'm just why. Okay. I'm just happy to be alive. Um, and of a sound mind. Like I could have been 1,000 times worse. And yeah, that's it. I can't, I wouldn't be here without God. So that's what keeps me humble.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say if anybody has any questions out there before we wrap up in the next few minutes. Um, we have managed, I have tried my best to keep this tight. So if you have to share it on Instagram Live, Instagram, or we can flip to Instagram after, and we can do a quick Instagram. Yeah, we should, because we're going to announce, we can do the big announcement on Instagram because people need to know what you're doing. This is just phenomenal. And so if you have any questions, now is your time to ask it. But anyone who needs to find you, Moheen, find out about the book, it's called Triumph Over Trauma.
Yes. So everything can be found on uniquelymoheen.com. That's my website. That is going to be activated tonight.
Okay.
So
You're gonna see me do something really weird in a minute. I'm literally gonna walk out of my headphones. Keep talking, Moheen, because I just realized my computer wasn't plugged in.
Oh, wow. Yes. So if you need to find out anything about the book, the website is going live this evening. It is www.uniquelymoheen.com, uniquelymoheen.com. That's a mouthful, eh? Wow. But yes, so on that site, just explains a little bit about me, a little bit
Good.
about what I do.
Good.
And the book is obviously, we've got it up there. It will be available for pre-order as of August 7th, 2020. And we will be doing a launch of the book in September.
Awesome. And I do apologize for running out of you. I've never done that before. I totally forgot to plug in the computer. I'm in a different spot in the house. You see, this is why I know this is going to be so good. Because even through this live, I believe we are triumphing over the trauma.
Amen.
We are triumphing over, we're doing new things, things that we've never done before. You've beat procrastination. You've beat fear. Yeah. You've looked at fear in the face and say, watch out, I don't care. I'm here. I'm coming, and I'm coming strong. And now, I know you're not prepared for this question. Okay, wait a second. Okay. Let me see your daughter saying something. Wait a second. Just reminding you that we appreciate your strength as our mother.
Oh, don't make me cry, Brittany.
You're the greatest inspiration. We love everything you're instilled in us, and we love you. Keep pushing, because you deserve everything that is coming from this book launch. Yes, you do. See, this is keeping it real. This is keeping it real. You have inspired me as a mom. You have, and I know you inspire everybody else. You inspire me as a friend. Anytime that I know that I am going through something, there's one person I know I can call to pray for me. No matter what you're going through, you will still pray for someone, even if you are in the worst battle of your life. And that's what makes you uniquely Moheen. You're integral.
You had to comment, right? Okay, sorry.
You are, this is why I use the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious to talk about you. The fact that you were able to write this story, which you're triumphing over your trauma, is to be commended. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm ordering my pre-copy today, and we're all having this. You see, this is the beauty of being live when things happen. And I'm not even going to say what just happened there to give you a tissue, didn't they?
No, Sammy's going away, so I had to get something for him before he left. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, because one child is going, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And and one of the strongest women I know, I second that emotion, Brittany. She is definitely one of the strongest women I know. And
Brittany, if you make me lose my lashes, even together, I'm like, these magnetic lashes gonna fall off in a minute, girl.
I'm gonna say to anybody,
love my child.
Moheen is a walking testimony of love, of truth, of standing in the truth of who you are, of being authentic, of serving under pressure. And if you need to run and give Sammy a hug, I can keep talking.
Okay,
and I can.
Oh, sorry.
And I can switch to me. Hopefully, yes. There we go. And so you're watching Victory Speaks, and it's Nicole Waldron speaking here, and Moheen Lombard is my guest. And she is just announced tonight that she is launching her new book. It's going to be available for pre-order on August 7th. And it's called Triumph Over Trauma. And I really appreciate her coming on here and allowing me to be the one to help her announce this. Her website is uniquelymoheen.com. It's going to go live in a few hours. And so hopefully you will check it out. The shots are amazing. We want to thank everybody who has supported Moheen in this journey, launching this book, her publisher. So if you want to give a shout out to your publisher, um, please do so, Moheen. If you, is there anybody special that you want to thank? I said it like a Trini, thank,
Sure
without the,
did. Tank.
with, without the H, thank. Is there
Tank.
anyone else you would like to thank?
I have the best publisher in the world. Can I just say that? Her name is Jessica, and she is from Keen Vision Publishing in Huntsville, Alabama. She is phenomenal. Has helped me immensely through this entire journey. Who do I want to say thank you to? Oh man, my tribe. I'm going to say that. Couldn't do it without my kids, especially my older two, have definitely motivated me to finish this journey and have kept me sane through it all. And to every single person, and they know who they are, who has supported me, whether it be through prayer, encouragement, man, just helping me out through this time and my entire life. I can't name everybody.
Yeah,
but know that you're in my heart, and know that God knows. And I pray for you always. Yes.
And so before we wrap up, this book, you've done some dedications. Who's this book dedicated to?
The first part of my dedication is this book is dedicated to every single person, every warrior who has endured trauma and is still here today and triumphed over it. You're still here. There's still a purpose for your life. There's still a calling and a destiny. And so I dedicate this book to every single person who has overcome adversity and trauma and is still here. And then the second part of my dedication is to my daddy, who no longer is with us, but is always here in my heart. So dedicated.
You have the most amazing parents. And so for those of you who have just joined us, we're wrapping up this wonderful conversation. Moheen has just announced again her book, Triumph Over Trauma, ready for pre-order on August the 7th. And as I say, I'm a numbers girl. 8 is a number of new beginnings. 7 is a number of perfection and completion. I like the numbers, girl. I'm not saying we got to go buy a lottery ticket, but I like the numbers. They're speaking to me. They're speaking greatness. And if you need to get the book, you can order it through her website. It's going to be available eventually on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version of her book. If you want to do a bulk order to give to your family and friends, if you want Moheen to come and speak, Moheen is a speaker. So please be sure to check out Moheen, uniquely Moheen, as we know and love her. Congratulations, my friend. I'm so proud of you. And for those of you who are joining, I'm Nicole Waldron. This is Victory Speaks. We're having an inspired conversations. We love to have inspired conversations with our friends, and hopefully we've inspired you tonight. Tell us what you like. If you're watching the rebroadcast, be sure if you have any questions you want to, we didn't answer tonight. If you have been going through trauma of any sort and you need counseling, let us know. If you need us to help you find an agency, find a life coach, we can do our best to hook you up. Moheen is connected in so many ways. If you are feeling that you want to end your life tonight, reach out to someone. The Suicide Prevention Life is there. Know that there's always tomorrow. It's always darkest before the dawn. That's and right. I'm just pulling out, out of what Moheen has said. There is going to be power in your testimony. Know that there's someone who is going to need you. And even though you may not feel, if at any point you feel like you don't matter to someone tonight, the weight is too great, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what title you hold. You could be a CEO. You can be, a garbage collector. You can be a chef making the best sugar cake. That's from Trinidad. You can make the best sugar cake. You can make some tamarind ball, whatever it is in life. Your title doesn't define you. Your character defines you. And
Absolutely.
know that um, iron sharpens iron. Find someone who can sharpen you, can lift you up. Make sure the people in your life are lifting you up through their conversations. Moheen has spoken so much about that today. You know, she said victory, you know, find the happiness in every day. So be
Mm-hmm.
intentional about looking in your day and finding something that brings you joy, even if it's the matter that you took a breath today. We are facing COVID-19. It's a phenomenon across the world that no one has ever faced this, and it's something that affects our breathing. So we
Mm-hmm.
encourage you and we remind you that taking that breath, that very breath, is a gift of life. And that is something to be celebrated. And even if you feel your life has no purpose, the fact that you woke up today and you're still alive right now means there's still something for you to do. And Moheen also
Absolutely.
told us, and if you scroll up in the comments, you know, happiness is an emotion and contentness is a state of being.
Mm-hmm.
And so I encourage you, if you just join the conversation, scroll up, go back, listen to it, share it with your friends. And we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining this Inspired Conversation. If you're looking to find out more about Victory Speaks and Inspired Conversations, go to victoryspeaks.com, go to Victory Speaks on 7 on Twitter and on Instagram. And we are going to pop over. We're going to do something spontaneous. We're going to pop over to Instagram to make this announcement for Moheen. So when she puts up the picture, she has something there that, you know, legacy matters and recording what you do matters, and having it there so that you can share it with the world really matters. And I may not be able to buy 100,000 books as I want to, but I'm going to make sure that this reaches 100,000 people. I don't care how we're going to do. We're going to share, 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 and we're going to have great conversations. Thank you for having this inspired conversation with us. Be
Thanks for having
intentional
me.
about your conversation. Thank you, Moheen, for joining. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Thank you for having this inspired conversation with me
Thank you for
today.
having me.
As you can tell, I'm giddy with excitement. All I've
Yes.
had to drink was water. It's only water in my cup. Um, it's August the 1st. It's Emancipation Day, and the day when slaves were emancipated 186 years ago. And what a day to release a book that says triumph over trauma. I want you to feel that in your heart and feel that in your spirit, that this day was chosen before you even knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And it speaks to a significant moment in time. And there are many that are going to triumph over trauma in this book. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us on Facebook today. And wherever you see this, you might use, we're going to put it on our YouTube eventually. And peace, love, and take care.